If you're an entrepreneur, a business person, or a creative person, you might like whiteboards. I fucking love a whiteboard. If you've seen some of my other previous YouTube videos, you would have seen a lot of whiteboards videos. That was on a very small whiteboard that's now been hidden into a cupboard and kind of dismantled because it's falling apart. This is literally the biggest whiteboard I could buy. And when it turned up, I was like, this is a behemoth. So it's fucking G and it's baller. This is probably one of my most valuable possessions, and it's just fun. I like to, if I come up with ideas, I'm gonna kind of write stuff out, and I'm very visual in terms of how I learn and how I kind of draw things out. So for me, this is a really easy thing to use. I often just use it for like a kind of to-do list on basic things. Even though I have really complicated like project management software, I would like to try and draw stuff out sometimes by hand, just to kind of throw stuff out of my mind. So a big whiteboard is kind of a big thing for me. I also have a whiteboard in the other office as well. And I'm also tempted to get more whiteboards in there, but I think it might get overwhelming, and I'll show you what that looks like in a little bit. Next up, in the exact same room, this is the setup we have for using podcasts. So we can close curtains here, have the whole room kind of blacked out. And if you look at the screen right now, you see an example in terms of how the podcast look visually. We have full lighting rigs, pretty much perfect sound. It looks very visually appealing. And then through Mike's genius work, we've made it look better than just having plain white walls that I would have left it. So we now have a thick plant. And then this behind me is actually sick, that I got as a gift from Mike. I had Content Guy, which is a custom made Michael Jordan kind of graphic poster. So that's super G. But this, from a podcast setup, is probably one of my favorite things to do in the business. It's have inspiring conversations with great people. So if you haven't, make sure you head over to our other channel and check out the podcast. Now, there's something really cool I also want to show you, which is kind of behind me. And this was an impulse purchase. And I'm the king of an impulse purchase at checkout. Is this? This is a Darth Vader helmet. Now, what do you want to know about Darth Vader helmet? This was also $100, so I got fleeced for that. But it also does this, which is kind of creepy. But if you want to wake someone up at night with that, I think that'd probably wake them up. If I could keep it on all the time, minus the sound on the podcast, I think it'd look pretty sick. So these things are on here to try and have more depth behind the podcast. Some other stuff we've got here, I got this as a gift before I got an actual Ferrari. So you will actually see, I don't know if you can see it outside. There is a Ferrari 488, does that show up on the camera? So that's the real one, and this is a toy car version I got before. It's actually a 458, which you can tell because it's got 3 exhausts, not 2. So that's kind of cool. And then a friend of mine, Alistair, you can drop a comment below on this as well. He gave me this, which you can tell I'm a child, is a Ferrari remote control car, because the next Ferrari I want is a Ferrari. However, these are a bit different in terms of price range. That one is about $200,000. Can you guess how much this one is? $5 million. So he said to me, this is an omen, you need to try and get one of these by the time you're 40. So I've kind of probably got a bit of a way to go on that. Some other stuff in here is obviously kind of more books, some awards. We've got a template course of a 4C course. If you want to scale your business, it's a free link below. There's also a jar, which is actually, I think I've never shown anyone this. Keep that in the video. So there's a jar here where Charlie, maybe 2-3 years ago, wrote a load of like positive affirmations and things about me, which I probably don't look enough, but that's a very like kind thing for a partner to do. This is going to be cringe. I can't remember what's in here. Hopefully it's not some that aren't like X-rated. So this is going to be what the fuck? One day when the time is right, I want to marry you. The first one. And find another one that's hopefully less cringe and make me cry. Meeting you has been the best part of my life. I can't wait to make it last forever. So we can continue to not read soppy voice notes. We can make a separate video on making Charlie emotionally uncomfortable on videos. There's a reason why I only talk about business. I don't actually drink, but I think that's kind of cool. It's a gift that I got for Christmas, which I'm not really sure where you buy people alcohol when they don't drink, but anyway. If anyone else thinks from a marketing perspective, alcohol and perfume is probably one of the things they put a huge amount of time in terms of the packaging, because you're kind of selling nothing in essence from the outside. You can't really try it there and then. The other side from podcasts, we had to have kind of more books and this cool kind of hand grenade thing, which Mike bought, which is kind of sick. And there's also a Ferrari book, which is currently Mike's key holder, so, and a line. So I like kind of stuff like this because it's, I don't know, I think kind of looks G. So this is a room and a hole, and you might recognize this. This was in the previous office on one side of the walls. I have got the other one of these, which is the American Express, like $100 million one in another room, which we're going to show you later on in the video. The two last things I want to show you in this video, which are pretty sick and kind of unique. One is a red light therapy unit. So I'm going to go through some nerdy biohacking stuff, but like I'm into kind of habit stacking stuff. So like this is plugged in. No, I will turn this on and then use this when I'm working. So it's a really good way in terms of like recovery and mood. And we've got a custom 7-figure scaling systems logo, which we'll be using at a previous podcast studio, which we now just kind of put here. So this is what room 1 looks like. That then also goes out to the pool and some other bits, which we can show you later on. Welcome to the Batcave. So this is where the magic happens. If I have stuff that's really complicated and I have to really focus on what I'm doing, I will do it in this room. Why do I do it in here? I get very easily distracted. So what I do is I put on my headphones. I also wear earplugs, and then I go and enter the matrix, caffeinated, stimulated, and annihilated. So this room has kind of no windows other than obviously the door there. I can easily kind of get distracted and lose focus and place where I am. So this works really well from an environment for me to be super productive. What you'll also notice is I often have a work colleague who is here. So for some reason, this cat has an obsession with sitting in the chairs I sit in. Maybe it's a pheromone thing. So he sits in this chair, and the exact chair that I sit in from a podcast perspective. Some recent additions, we've also got a walking treadmill, which I've had for about 2 weeks, and if I'm radically transparent, I've used once. And then I'll also show you, this is an oxygen purifying plant apparently, or I've just been mugged off by the internet, but apparently these help to improve the air, although that looks like someone broken part of it, and there's aloe vera on the floor, but there we go. I've also got an air filter, so rooms where you spend a lot of time and need to have an air filter. And do you want to see something shocking and disgraceful? Do you want to see what an entrepreneur's cupboard really looks like? This is where we just throw everything in here because I'd have no use for this room. So this room's technically the maid room / my supplement stash and some random filming shit that we don't really use. So there we go. We'll keep that door closed. The other thing you have is if you want to have some fresh air, it's kind of like a prison cell. You have this little random courtyard, but I can kind of just see air, but sometimes I'll just open this just to have noise of birds and stuff like that, but it's kind of not that great. What is baller is also got whiteboard, so I like whiteboards. On here I just generally put like complicated shit I'm kind of dealing with. 2 things you might think are interesting on this whiteboard I've got written at the top. One is you only need to get rich once, which is true, and most people don't think like that. Secondly is noise or signal, like is this something that's important or is it fucking bullshit being busy? A stop to doing list, and then this is my decision-making framework, which is RICE. So reach, impact, confidence, effort. So if I'm thinking about doing something, I have this written here to remind me to think, run through this framework, is this something I should do? So this is probably the most unexciting room in this entire house, but probably the most impactful things actually happen in here. If you enjoyed this clip and you're a business owner, content creator, or coach, and you want help in terms of exactly how to scale your business to the next level using ads, AI, VSLs, setters, and building teams that basically monetize your business and monetize your knowledge, but without you having to press all the buttons, it's never been easier than before. What we can do is we can walk through the whole process in terms of how we're doing this over and over and over again with content creators, with business owners. If you hit the link at the bottom of this video, you can book a call with us and the team. We can audit your whole business, show you where the bottlenecks are, and show you exactly how we can scale. And if we think you're a good fit to work with us, we can show you what that looks like too.